there, friends. Welcome back to Second Star to the Left. I'm Michelle, and I'm so excited to have our first in-person game day that I made them come and join me for filming. I'm lucky to have my sister and my niece here with me today.
Hi, I'm Sandra.
Hi, I'm Juliet.
And this is Billy.
Hi.
Today we thought we'd talk about top 5 travel games. Well, maybe not our top 5, but 5.
Oh, and we get 15 because there's 3 of us.
Maybe not even 5. But before we go into our list, a couple of things. One, they're not ranked. It's too hard to rank them. And 2, this is a top 5 travel games beach house edition, which means that if we're going down the shore or on a vacation of that kind and we're bringing family who may or may not want to game, we're picking the 5 games that we might get to the table while we're there that the most people will have fun with. Again, mine are in no particular order, and we've all done this vacation together, so I think there might be, we tried to avoid some crossover, but we're going to give you 5. There's obviously going to be honorable mentions because it's a list and it's a YouTube channel, so just bear with us. So here we go. So what's your first choice?
All right. So I would say I'm kind of going in order of I got them because that seems to be, as far as not ranking them. But I would say my first choice is definitely Arboretum. So Arboretum is a card game based on trees. You're going to see a theme. I like a lot of the nature games. I'm an ecologist by trade. Things with art that is representative of actual nature is just an easy draw for me. I like Arboretum because it has kind of aspects of dominoes. It's not too hard to learn. It's a small box. It travels easy. And I can usually get most of my family to sit down and play it. It plays out in about, I would say, 20 to 30 minutes tops. So again, kind of in that sweet spot for people who aren't gamers. And it's pretty cards. This is my sister's version because we're here at her house. I have the original version. The art is a little different. I like it better. But, you
take what you can get when you get it later
on.
Also, it's nice if you tell everyone all the rules of this game.
I did.
The cards have numbers that you're going to put in sequential order, but you still have to hold on to some of those cards so that if you have the highest of that
at the end of the game,
you get to score
the one who gets to score it. So again, aspects of dominoes, you're putting things in order, you're making paths through your arboretum with different trees. You can match numbers or you can match trees to make those paths, but the more trees of the same species you match in order, the more points you get if at the end of the game you hold the highest card.
Yeah, that's kind of an important if. Nice. My first game is going to be a drawing game because I find that we have actual artists in our family and it is fun when they realize that does not help them in a drawing game. Usually I would bring fake artists because it's really small, but lately we've been playing Monstrosity, which is a little bit of a different spin on a drawing game. There's been a crime in Monster Town and you are the witness. You're going to have to describe the monster that committed this crime and everyone around the table is going to draw what you describe based on a card that you got to look at for, I believe, 10 seconds, 20 seconds?
Yeah.
So you're going to do your best to memorize a cartoon monster on a card and describe it to everyone so that they draw it the best. You're going to vote on who drew the best monster and if you were a credible witness.
You were a credible witness.
I'm not
how
a credible
close
witness.
it is to the card.
Yeah, this one is pretty quick. It just depends on how many rounds you want to play. It plays in about 20 minutes. You can play up to 8 players, which also makes it good for the beach house because we have people that stop in to visit. Gamers, non-gamers, our 3 artists who are sometimes thwarted by our drawing games. But it's nice when we don't get penalized for not being able to draw. I like it.
Right.
So Monstrosity is a great game to have around at the beach.
Yes, definitely.
So mine is Marrying Mr. Darcy. I absolutely love this game. I am such a huge Austen fan, so it's great. The main game does focus on Pride and Prejudice and all of that crew. There is also an Emma expansion and an Undead expansion. I have both of those because Emma is my favorite book. So. But it's a really fun game where you get to play one of the main heroines in it, and you go through all the parties and events, and you even have some scandals along the way while you try and win a suitor's favor. And then you get to the proposal stage where hopefully you will get a proposal from the suitor that you wish, or unfortunately become an old maid at the end.
And that's another good game. That's up to 6 players, I think.
Yeah, it's a decent amount. Yeah, 6 players, 2 to 6.
So again, if you're down the shore, have someone come and visit on your vacation, or have a larger than 4 family, it's a good game.
Yeah.
And a lot of fun,
And
even
it's
if you
pretty
don't
quick,
know the
too.
characters.
Yeah, it's about 30 minutes is normally for us.
Is there dice, right?
Yeah, there's some dice involved for like parties to see what happens when you go to a party. If you get a nice dance with your favorite suitor, or if
you cause a scandal.
Yeah, if you drink too much wine, or you know,
Or if you
no one
wind
else
up
is
where
there.
even Mr. Collins won't ask you to
Yeah, that's always sad.
Nothing like losing a game by being called an old maid. Yeah, that's a fun one.
So much fun.
So I would say my second game, again in order of I got them, is Gloom. We really like the Fairy Tale edition. Gloom is again a card game. It's small, it's easy, it travels well. It's actually a good card game down the shore because the cards themselves are clear plastic. So even if they get sticky or a little sandy, you can really wash them off, clean them up. But Gloom is a storytelling game. So you get one of a number of families, and your job is to make them as miserable as possible before you kill them. And at the same time, try and make your opponent's families happier. And it's got, just some great cards in it, trounced by teddy bears, or all sorts of different fun cards where it makes you sadder and sadder until you can get a card that will bump off that particular family member. Once all your family members have been killed, then you're going to score, and everyone scores based on any of their dead family members. You don't get any points for anyone who's still alive.
No.
It is not a sad game.
It is not a sad game. It is hysterical. And kind of coming up, in our family, we like to do the storytelling bit, so coming up with, how this person got trounced by teddy bears, or tripped on a tree root, or,
a lot of alliteration.
A lot of alliteration in this game, yes.
There are a number of different versions. I know you like Fairy Tale.
We like Fairy Tale.
We have-
Original Gloom has
Gloom in space, too.
Yeah, there's
Cthulhu.
Cthulhu Gloom,
It's my
which is,
favorite,
of
yeah.
course, yeah. And there's some extras too, just some add-ons that you can mix together that really just has a lot more fun a lot more aspects to the game.
If I remember, I believe that the designer's wife was tired of Take That games, and so he made this game so that all the bad things happen to you, but you have to be nice to everyone around you to win. I'm not sure that the spirit is exactly the same, but it's a nice story.
It's a nice story.
My second game is Cockroach Poker, which is a classic. It's a teeny little box, so we can take it wherever we want. Space isn't really that big a deal when we're packing for the beach because we're driving there and we can fill up the car. And the truth is, while we're being limited to 5 games on this list, there is no way that any of us are going on vacation with 5 games. That's just not gonna happen.
Yeah.
It's a simple little card game, bluffing and set collection. You can teach it to anyone. I taught it to my parents. It takes about 25 minutes to play.
Yeah.
So it's really easy, and obviously you can bring it wherever. It's good for the beach house or anywhere else you're gonna go.
Yeah. So my second one is Guillotine. I grew up playing this game. It's nice, it's small, it's a card game, and you're playing through 3 days during the French Revolution when they're killing everybody. And
It's a theme here.
your goal is to get the highest ranking nobles and to kill them and collect their heads. You know, so you have like palace guards, you have members of the church,
Marie Antoinette.
Yeah, you have Marie Antoinette, King Louis. You know, you have a wide range of people that you can kill. Of course, Marie Antoinette and King Louis have the highest point values, but
and if you collect in sets,
yeah,
like if you collect sets of the nobility or sets of the palace guards, that, you know, so there's some decent strategy to it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you have fun action cards that you can play to, you know, kick a noble up in line and get a better a better noble to kill and things like that. So it's nice, it's easy, and it's very transportable.
All right, so the next one on my list is a game that we all really love. We kind of fought over whose list it was going to be on, but that's Cartographers. I know that in an earlier video, Michelle talked about this in terms of polyominoes, right? So you are playing a map maker. You are essentially Tetrising given shapes onto your map in the most advantageous way, given your goals for the end of the game. There's some fun aspects to it. Again, we kind of like the meme theme here, but so when you get a goblin, you have to pass your map either to the left or the right to your opponent, and they get to draw, obviously in the worst place possible, one of the poly shapes onto your map to try and block you from getting the most points. Lots of replay, lots of different ways. It goes 4 rounds, I think.
Yeah, it's a season.
So 4 seasons. You can really play, I think, up to, is it 6 players?
I could play a lot of players.
A lot of players, right? No, it says 1 to 100 players.
So more than 6.
So more than 6. But again, so a good group game if you're having people over. It's easy to teach. It's easy to play. It takes about 20-25 minutes to get through a game and lots of fun.
Yeah, and we can play it. We've played it remotely, so it's...
Yeah, we've even played remotely. It becomes a lot of fun. You kind of hold your map up and someone tells you where to place the tiles that are not as nice. So, but Cartographers, another really great, fun game that you can get people who aren't into big, long-term games to get to play.
That's why I let you have it. Tipping them over.
Nice.
Cut that right out. My next game is Wits and Wagers, which is a party game. But I find that party games on vacation tend to work with non-gamers. Also, when you have someone in your house that doesn't play games and they watch a video and say, I really want to play that game, then you get that game and you play that game because you have an opportunity to play something.
Definitely.
So, Wits and Wagers, you're going to read a question that you're not supposed to know the answer to. For example, how many Pringles are there in a can? Everybody writes down their guess. We put them on a Vegas-style mat, and then everybody bets on what the correct answer is. So you're going to get points for if you have the right answer, for if people chose your answer, for if you guess the right answer. It's fun. It's
and how
silly.
many Pringles are in a...
I don't know. It says right here you're not supposed to know the answers. It's fun. It's silly. There's a lot of yelling. And honestly, no one's put on the spot because if you don't know the answer, it doesn't matter. You can still get points. It really doesn't make a difference. So it's good for people who don't like to be put on the spot with a party game. Sometimes we play games, concept or something where one person is forced to give clues, even monstrosity to some extent.
Yep.
And people don't like that pressure. This kind of takes that pressure right off.
We have Dissent, which is the same kind of thing. A party game where you're guessing, did people agree with you? Did people not agree with you? Yep. Not so much putting somebody on the spot.
Yeah, it's good for people who are just kind of finding their way in here. And, it's a lot of fun. So Wits and Wagers is going to go with us to the beach house.
My next one is Kittens in a Blender.
You really guys need a non-violent themed game.
Arboretum. We started with Arboretum.
We went from trees to murder.
Yes. So Kittens in a Blender only is a 4-player game, which limits it a little bit, but it's perfect for my family. But so you have your kittens, and your job is to get your kittens to safety. But you want to push everyone else's kittens in a blender, which is very mean.
It's good parenting.
breaks Juliet's heart every time it happens.
I love cats. But so you need to be mean, and so it's really fun, but it's not too mean because everyone's like laughing and joking as you're kind of, knocking kittens over.
Blending kittens to their doom.
Yeah, and it's
Very
a card
funny.
game too, so it's small, and I can easily put it in like my backpack when I'm going somewhere, and I just really enjoy being mean
I feel
to other
like-
people.
I feel like card games get a lot of play on
Yeah.
vacation.
Yeah.
So.
Little and quick.
Yeah, and
Portable quick.
it doesn't take up a ton of space either.
Yep. Yep.
On like a table.
So in the, in a different light, one of our favorite games is Dirigible Disasters. And where that sounds bad, the truth is it's a cooperative game where you're on a dirigible and you need to stop the disaster from happening. So there's 3 or 4 decks. There's a fire on the first deck, so you're going to send one of the players down to the first deck to try and extinguish the fire. But while that's happening, something stops working on the first deck. And so you really, and I think we lose more than we win, but it's a lot of fun. And it's just the board is great. There's little meeples you're playing with, small. And again, because it's cooperative, people who don't game don't feel like, oh, everybody ganged up on me, because you really have to work together and talk through your strategy. Because if somebody's like, I'm just going to go do this, I guarantee you your dirigible is going to blow up. It's just going to happen.
So to be clear, we aren't trying to murder anyone.
No, in this particular
Okay,
game, we're
good.
trying to save
Good to know.
everyone.
So I'm starting to think that nobody wants to go on vacation with us.
And I believe Dirigible Disasters is 4 players. So
All right, so I'm gonna cheat on the next one just a little bit, but I'm going to call the next game Button Shy. It's not cheating. Look how
you're
small.
cheating.
No,
This is
seriously,
cheating.
look how small this is. And also,
Totally cheating.
again, if I haven't plugged Button Shy enough, I will put the information right here. Go check them out. They're local. They're in New Jersey, and go show them some love. What they make, besides this really nifty little game haul bag, is wallet games. So I'm going to pull this open here. We can bring all of these games in the space of one game. And I'm not going to go through them all. I have in another video, but all of these games are 18 card games. Some of them are solo, some of them are party games, some of them are bluffing games. There's city building games, just about everything that you could want. And for this much variety in this little bag, this is definitely coming to the beach house with us. I like to bring something that I can also play solo, because believe it or not, my family doesn't want to play as many games as I do down the shore.
Yeah.
So it's nice to have this many choices. I think there's 3 or 4 solo, and then a bunch of card games.
And
in
I
here.
think a bunch of those card games are good with 2 people. So something like Marrying Mr. Darcy, which we love to play, not a great 2-player game. So if only 2 of you are down there and you want to play a game, this really does give you a lot of options for, 2-player games, solo games, and that. Though I still say you cheat.
Okay,
See,
but seriously,
she cheats.
this is
All
this
the
is-
games she cheats.
this is a collection,
Uh-huh.
and I'm gonna bring it. So,
Uh-huh.
so my number 4 is Button Shy in an entire collection. Check them out.
So my next one is Word Domination. Such a good one. It has a nice big mat that you can get. You don't have to have the mat. But it's a tile placing game, and you need to create words, and you create the words to capture different like artifacts and like big monuments and things like that. So you're slowly taking over the world by spelling out different words. So it's really fun. You need to use some strategy, and you also need to be able to spell, which sometimes I'm not the best at. That becomes an issue sometimes. But it's a lot easier for me than like Scrabble. It also comes in like a tiny box, and it's fun for even non-gamers because it's simple, straightforward rules. And also the art is pretty amazing. I love the art for it.
And I like it because unlike, a lot of even like a Scrabble game, so you're given a starting tile letter, that
Yeah.
you have to use within your word, but then the tiles in your word don't have to be connected on the board.
Yeah, no, it's really
It's
nice.
better for you if you can kind of connect them in the long run for points, but you
Yeah.
can use tiles anywhere on the board. There's some decent strategy there.
It's
as
more
well.
Boggle than Scrabble,
It's
right?
more
Yeah.
Boggle than
Yeah.
Scrabble.
Yeah,
It's
which makes it a lot easier to come up with some words, because I know
I believe it's
sometimes it's
Fowers. Is it Fowers Games?
Yes,
I think so,
yes, it is.
yeah.
Which means that's where the artwork is.
Yep.
Yeah.
And fun. The characters you play are fun. They have
Yeah,
some
you all get to play like some villains.
some special powers.
Yeah, which is always
And
fun.
again, about 20 minutes, half an hour
Yeah.
kind of play.
Yeah, depending on everyone checking the spelling,
Yeah.
it goes quicker.
What are you talking
I,
about?
I'm
If
just.
you can't spell something, it
You
can
are
take
definitely going to have to
longer.
house rule whether or not you're allowed to check pre-word or
Right.
post-word for spelling. But yeah, it's a
Right.
great game.
Yeah.
All right, so my final, without getting into, this is my extra. Again, we're back to the nature games, the beautiful artwork. So this is Parks. It's a national parks game. Everybody who buys a copy is donating to help preserve the national parks. So they get a donation for every box sold. So go buy one just to feel good about it. But it is a lot of fun. Strategy game where you're trying to visit as many parks as possible. It's lots of replay because every time you set it up, it comes out different with what resources are available and how you can get those resources. There's camera taking. There's great little animal meeples, which I love. So again, it's small. The art is beautiful. It's easy to teach. I love the parks, and honestly, we're often visiting a national park when we're on vacation, so it's very thematic, and we have a lot of fun with this one.
I think between this and the Nightfall expansion, they have photos of every park or artwork representing every park
Yep.
at this point. So if you can't actually get out and go see a park, you can pretend and go through a stroll.
I have visited many parks that I have yet to actually see in
Yes.
person, though I have plans. So we'll try and bring our game to each park.
My last game on my list is not going to be a surprise to anyone who's ever watched a video that I've done. It's Silver Bullet. Well, actually, in here is all of them. Silver Amulet, Silver Bullet, Silver Coin, and Silver Dagger, all mixed together in this nifty box. I've already done a full video on this, so if you want to take a look, go ahead. It's a simple card game of memory and, cards with special powers. It's a lot of fun. If you want to see an detailed video of this, hop on over to Foster the Maple, Jeff and Jamie. Pretty much every video will mention Silver Bullet, so go have a look. It's a great game. This one's just going to be an easy gimme to take on vacation.
So my last one is Unstable Unicorns. I love that game. It has super cute art, even though many of the unicorns are evil in it. Yeah, it's fun. So you want to have 7 unicorns in your stable to win, and you kind of are mean to the other players, which tends to be a theme here. You can kill their unicorns, you can turn their unicorns into pandas, so they no longer have unicorns. You have narwhals, which count as unicorns, which I think is a very big plus. I love narwhals. And there are fun expansions. We have Rainbow Apocalypse. I know there's a dragon expansion, and a fun adventure expansion. There are so many funny puns on all the cards, and you have so many fun abilities that you can do. So I think it's a definite bring.
And it's one of those games, again, I think it's an unlimited number of people. Just as many unicorns as there are. You start with a baby unicorn,
so
that's
as
how
long
you
as
start.
have enough.
And I think the original deck comes with 10 or 15 baby unicorns. So a good game with a lot of people and just a lot of laughs and fun.
Passing them back and forth. is good.
back and forth.
Okay, so are you cheating?
I'm cheating. So I would say honorable mention would have to go to Isle of Skye, which is another game we bring lots of places. Fun tile building land game where, you're building your farm and trying to acquire the right combination of towers and sea and farms and goats, and so a lot of fun, quick, easy, visually pleasing kind of game.
Yeah, interesting bidding and drafting. So you're
Yeah.
secret blind bidding against everyone for the tiles, and you're not quite sure if you're wasting all your money and nobody else wanted that one. But it's a fun one.
I
It's
have
really
definitely
pretty.
done that before.
So while I would bring most of what you brought on vacation, and like I said, there's not a chance that I'm going to bring only 5 games, but we thought we would limit the list. This year we're going to bring Survive Escape from Atlantis, which is a remake of a very old game, and I thought the idea of trying not to get eaten by a shark would be a really good beach house game, and I think the theme is fun enough that I can get non-gamers to play it. And I think it's better than swimming in the ocean where you could get eaten by an actual shark.
That shark was 12 inches long.
It was a real shark and it was right next to us. So we're going to try to let the shark meeples attack instead of the actual sharks. But that's my number 6.
Number 6. Yes, so for me, that would probably be Coup. It's a fun lying game. I really like it because I can convince my sister to play, and she normally doesn't want to play, but she loves the lying games. And so
There's
in
something to
Coup,
be said for that.
yeah.
You should be concerned when you're really good at the lying games.
Yeah, so in Coup, you have 2 cards, and you can look at them. I find it's more fun if you don't, so you don't actually know what you are, and then you can do actions depending on what cards you have. But if you lie to do an action and someone calls you on it, then you lose that card and you lose a life. So you only have one more shot to win, and the goal is to be the last person standing, really, in a coup. So it's lots of fun, and it's a quick, simple card game, and you can get a decent amount of players in it as well.
Be the best liar.
And be the best life.
Yes, exactly.
So those are our travel games based on going to somewhere like a beach house or even a cabin or something where space isn't as big of a concern.
Yep.
And you have a little bit more ability to spread out on a table. Maybe not a big giant game. Definitely we kind of
And
stuck to small
variety-
boxes.
And a variety of people in the house. So mix of people who really love to game versus people who maybe you have to kind of convince to game.
Come join
Yeah.
us.
It'll be okay.
So what are your favorite travel games if you're going to the beach or if you're going to a cabin or just away on vacation? Let us know in the comments. Thank you for watching. If you like what you saw or you want to watch until we get one right, please like, subscribe, and share. As always, open tables, open minds, and play your shelves.
All right. So, okay, except my list was on my phone. Oh.
Good job moving the phone.
We're out. Yes, pizza.